now all you're going to need is your clippers and your pliers and your highlighted wire. So I was using red for the highlight. I'm going to make the leaves out of red wire. And I got a couple here that I made just to give you an idea of what your top is going to look like. So these are the leaves we're going to make. So now you're getting a special tutorial on how to make this style of wire leaf. And let me show you how I do that. So to get my length, since I'm out of my vehicle, I do a lot of my measuring based on my steering wheel, and that just makes things easier. For the length that I use is the length of my steering wheel, which is probably about 15 inches. So it's going to be kind of long what you need. So you get your length about 15 inches and just kind of loop this in half. So your length is going to be times 2, so about 30 inches in total, looped at the end in half. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that at that length. So now this is what we have. You got your 2 loose ends, you got your fold here, and what you're going to do is you're going to kind of fold it over into a point. You want your loop, you know, big enough to put your pinky in or your ring finger or something, and then have these kind of L-shaped, V-shaped, and you're going to hold that right at the V shape, and you're going to grab this and start turning it. And what it's doing is it's starting to twist these 2 wires together. You do that about 20-25 times and get a length about 2 inches on your twist. So now I'll double check to make sure my lengths are about equal when I'm doing this, and that's about perfect. So then what you should have is this right here. And now that's going to be the center of your leaf. It's a little stem basically. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to pull them down towards that stem. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of loop it, and you want to go with the twist. So it's going to wrap around the twist and kind of hide or bury itself. So now I'm going to give it just a little tiny half moon here, and then I'm going to go with the twist and go around twice. So then I'm going to have this. Now I'm going to take this one on the bottom, do the same thing. You're always going the same direction. I'm going to give it another half moon about the same size, wrap it around twice. So now I got this. Okay, before I move on, I want to take the bottom section of these and I'm going to round them out by just sticking this tool in there and just kind of rounding it around. Make it a little rounder at that bottom part. So now it should be kind of rounded at the bottom. And then I'm going to take flat ends of these and I'm going to kind of shape the point of this by grabbing around. It's going to be really hard to get this angle. About halfway up the round part. Yeah, I don't think I can show you this part of it. So basically I'm going to grab about halfway up and I'm just going to squeeze it very gently, and I'm going to work the squeeze up to the very end, just very gently. Give it a little point. See what I'm doing here? You can give it a little more if you want. very gently. You don't want to really push that because it bends very easily. This is what I have. Now I got a little dude with you know, head and arms coming off. So now I want to take this and I'm going to, all right, this is very important if you want a nice, neat look to your leaf. So you see the sides of them, how they just kind of, they're really neat, nice and straight. Yeah, if you can kind of see those just along the side. Okay, so what I'm going to do, this one, from my vantage point, the wire is on this side. This wire is on this side. This wire is on that side. So that's the bottom side to me. This is the top side. They both spiral around this way. So now I take this one, which is my top side, and I want to go down through the same side half moon loop. And I want to pull that just through that loop. And I want to bring it, kind of give it a little pyramid shape. Round it down at the bottom a little bit. Kind of shape this as you go. So it's going to be about that position through there, and I'm going to actually fold this wire over the wire of that loop. So it looks like that. And then I'm just going to follow the same pattern that I just made. Bring it down like that. So those two wires are now side by side. And then wrap around twice without crossing these two wires. I mean, you can cross them, but when they fold over each other, it makes it kind of a bad look. Okay, so now you got your first like that. You're going to do the same side, or the same thing to the other side, except this one's on the bottom, so I'm going to go up through the loop towards me. This keeps the wires side by side instead of crisscrossing. Crisscrossing doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look as neat. So now I'm going to get the same shape on this side, fold it over, follow that shape, so these wires are now side by side, and then wrap it twice. That twice is giving you enough space to make your shape. And you can view back at your first leaf to make sure you're getting the right shape. So mine seems a little bigger. I want to kind of slow it down. So now the wires are kind of spread a little bit. I want to clean it up, and I'll just kind of grab the two and clamp them, lay them flat, make them look nice and neat. And when I learned this technique, I was watching a tutorial. Also, the tutorial, I wish I could remember where I saw it, but one of the tips that you can use to shape your leaves is draw it down, so you can always have a visual of what it looks like. So now I got the first two, and I'm going to keep doing that and just making the shape that I want. You can do this any which way you want. You can make it skinny, you can make it fat. Depending on what you do is very dependent on how long your wire is going to be. All right, so now that I got it, I want to make sure the wire ends are vertical to the horizontal here, and I'm going to take my flats and grab them very gently and turn it around the wire. What this is doing is smoothing them down. I'll check back if I see any poking up. I'll do the same right there. And just make sure the wire ends are not going to be pokey. Now I'm going to kind of press up and pull out at the same time to give it a little rounded shape. So now it's hill shaped a little bit. I'm going to roll it down, and now you got your leaf. You're going to make 12 leaves for each one of these. And the reason is you're going to be connecting to 2 wires at a time. So each strand has 3. You take, loosen them up, pull 2 out, connect that, have that 1 stuck out. Go to the next strand, loosen that up. Now you got 4. You can do 2 more to that. And I'll show you how to do all that, but you're going to want to get 12 of these together per tree. It is time consuming, but when you're done, this is what you're going to look. Each leaf is going to be slightly different, maybe a little bit longer, a little shorter. Takes practice. All right, so once you get your leaves together, I got all mine right, falling all over the place. I got 12 that I've made. I'm just going to do the 12 and show you how to do it on the first tree. So I usually start, or I always start with the tall one. And what I'm going to do with this, let me adjust the camera here a little bit. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to open this up, spread them out, and give myself just close to about 1 inch worth of wire to work with. So I start unfolding these. Back and forth, kind of fanning them out as I go. All right, so then I'm going to have this at the top. They're spread open. It shortens it up about 1 inch. And this is what we're going to be attaching our leaves to. First, what we need to do is you want to, choose where you want to put your first leaf. Grab one of those bundles, and this is a little bit trickier, and you might need your tool to do it. You got to unbraid those sections. So now I got one. Let's see if you can see it there. One spread open now. I'm going to attach one leaf to these 2. I'm going to kind of pop this one up a little higher for my next one. Make sure they're kind of tight to the trunk of the tree itself. All right, so the next step is you take one of your leaves. You're going to need your cutters and snip that loop right in half, just kind of grab your snippers to it and cut through it. So now you're going to have 2 ends here. And this is what you're going to attach 1 wire to each one. So I kind of fold this one up towards me to get it out of the way. Have it facing down. And then those 3 wires that I just loosened up here, I want to take 2 of those wires and kind of crisscross them. So I got this one here, this one here, and I'm going to twist those 2 together. So I take those 2 wires and I just twist those together. Sometimes I'll do it loose to start, but then I really give it a good tight twist on this. Don't go too tight, or otherwise you will break it, but feel the tension in it and you'll know that's right. All right, so then I snip the end off of this, make it about 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch in length. Kind of fold that down, facing down a little bit, so it's just under the leaf. And now I'm going to take the next 2 wires, this one and this one. I'm going to twist those 2 together, and I'm trying to do this as close to the base of that leaf as possible. So I'll kind of loosely twist that and give it a good tight twist to follow it up. Feel the tension, don't go past breaking point. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut that. It looks like a little candy cane stripe. So now I got the leaf attached, and I got these two little candy cane stripe twists that I made. Facing those down, I'm going to actually roll it down. Kind of see if you can see that. I'm just taking these and just kind of rolling it down, making it curve. Okay. So now, kind of just tuck those underneath, and after you do all of them, you're going to have this little, here, I'll show you. You're going to have this little bulbous point on the bottom there that goes around. Kind of gives it an extra touch. That's why I keep those kind of long. And then you got your first leaf attached to your tree. And you can adjust and move these around kind of, you know, where you want it as you go. So now I'm going to show you doing one more. So I still have that one single wire of the 3 that are loose from the braid. So now I'm going to take my next braid, and unravel that one too. All right, so now I got these 3 or 4 wires. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could do 2 more leaves with those 2 ready. So I'm going to take my next leaf, do the same thing, cut the loop, get yourself 2 ends. Now what I'm going to do, these are kind of spread apart here. I'm going to kind of give them one solid twist together just to kind of make it tighter to the trunk itself. One good solid twist. Now I'm going to lay one wire across one of those loose wires. So now I'll pull them away to get access to it. So now I got this wire and this wire, the 2 red are together. I'll twist those together really tight. Cut a little excess off there. I'm going to move that little twist down to the bottom, and then I'm going to go to the next 2 wires, one from the leaf, one from the trunk, and twist them together as well. Now another suggestion I'm going to make on this is, you see the hollow point here, you can still see it's hollow. What I'll do is I'll take 2 of these. So what I'll do is I'll fold it over to the other side. And I'll cross it over the top. So now that hollow is closed off, but you still have your 2 ends. So all I did was take one, cross it over, take another, cross it over. It closes off the top, keeps it clean, and it keeps them tight together. And you can do that a few times if you need to make it look nice. There you are. So I'm going to go ahead and attach these other 12, show you what this tree looks like, and then I'm going to start showing you how I attach it to the base.